Hey friends, it's good to see you. It's Thursday. That means it's time for the Tarot Topic Weekly Newsletter Recap. Tarot Topics comes into your inbox every Wednesday. We talk about a different topic every week. And then we come on here on Thursday and do readings on that topic. And for the second week in a row, our topic came very organically from this group, where you specifically asked, can we do a newsletter about people pleasing? So we did that. And, obviously I'm not trained in psychology, psychiatry, sociology, any of those things. What I share is simply my observations. And my observation about people pleasing is as follows. It's usually born of low self-esteem, low self-worth. It is often born of a childhood where we did not feel unconditionally loved and we're constantly like throwing spaghetti against a wall trying to get our emotional needs met. And when we people please, no one is really pleased. Because if we're giving this great outpouring to someone who hasn't asked for it, that puts a lot on them. That makes a lot incumbent on them. So it's like a transactionally very weird thing. It's also true, I think, that when we are people pleasers trying not to people please, it feels weird, like in the pit of your stomach, like, oh my gosh, like it just feels so weird, right? Recovering people pleaser. All right, so that's what we're going to do readings about. And before I go over to Card Cam, let me say, first of all, a huge thank you to Pamela Lath. Oh, a new tradition, the Thirsty Thursday. Enjoy a frosty drink on me. Well, thank you so much, Pamela. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. And it's your birthday. We should be giving you presents. In fact, why don't we do that? Why don't we give you a birthday card just to start? That would be really fun. You're turning the big 50 tomorrow, celebrating the first year with both parents gone. It's hard, and they were the first people it was your job to please. So let's do something here for Pamela. Let's first of all go on over to Card Cam, where you can see I'm using Legacy of the Divine. So happy birthday, Pamela. And let's just do a bit of just birthday wish, birthday wisdom, birthday warning. What's it going to be? Wish, wisdom, or warning? Let's see what it is. The Queen of Swords reversed. I feel like you've spent the first 50 years of your life sort of trained not to say what you're really thinking. And in some circumstances, it's best to keep that training. It is good to be cool and not let everybody know. But I think there needs, in the years coming forward, it needs to be recognized that your voice is important. And that it's okay to speak your truth in many more settings than what you've done in the past and how you felt comfortable. So, happy birthday. And of course, we'll do your regular reading for today when we get to you. All right. And once again, thank you. I love that, Joyous Ocean. May version 5.0 be a wonderful upgrade. Love it. All right. I will get to these questions. We'll take them in the order in which I see them. Starting with Trey Cameron. So good to see you. Do I people please too much? If so, where should I specifically work to improve boundaries with others? So let's take a look. I think specifically there may be some adult female family members who maybe themselves are not as good at boundaries or maybe are better at emotional manipulation than they should be. And so there, and I say that with all love, and I say that in the gentlest of ways, but maybe a little bit that way. And if it's out of respect for your elders, I understand. But if those voices stay in your head and cause you to do what you really don't want to do or what doesn't feel wise to do when you're not in their presence. You know, that's something we didn't talk about in the newsletter, is the way that we can people please when we're not even around them because we have their voices in our head. But that's the kind of thing that is coming up for me, Trey. So it's maybe just about gently and politely and quietly undoing that training. Hey, Smile Soul 20, good to see you. I want to remind all of you, we've got a class here tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the Tarot Queens, a deep dive into the feminine energies of tarot. Join us. Link is already up. All right. Barbie Bird, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. Thanks for using members only emojis. I know you're going to catch your answer offline, and I hope your workday is going great. I hate that my people-pleasing tendencies are a trauma response that lead to me not living as authentically as I could have been. I think I've come a long way. Can Spirit confirm my growth here? And in what areas can I improve on this more, and how? And are y'all following Jules LeBron on TikTok? And so demure. See how she asks that question? So mindful, so demure, so thoughtful. No, seriously, that was a good question. It really was. So when we look at that question for Barbie Bird, oh my gosh, yes, so much better, so much better, so much freaking better, to the point that even when the emotional tendency comes up and you're feeling that internal conflict, for me, it's always a stomach thing. But there's that, lower 3 chakras, right? You logic yourself out of it. You put yourself to a logical process to remind yourself why you don't have to do whatever it is your people-pleasing instincts are telling you to do. And this is freaking brilliant. I think you need to acknowledge how far you've come. Yes, yes, and yes. I think the next step is feeling more confident in your own decisions and trusting that your decisions, like in most things in most things that you're objectively qualified for, you have as good a chance as any of us as making a good decision versus a bad decision. In our lives, we will all make a bunch of good decisions and a bunch of bad decisions. And there is nothing that disqualifies you from decision making, that you can trust yourself. I think that's really your next step. All right. Hey, Lumen, good to see you. Tiffany, Vaishali, glad you're here. All right. Mix you here. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your kind words about the newsletter. What do I need to heal my root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras? What do I need to know about nurturing each one? That's beautiful. And that's going to be a 3-card reading. You know that, right? And if you haven't read the newsletter, which you can do, the link to do that is in the description right here on this video. But I talked about the magic of those first 3 chakras in helping us heal the things that make us people pleasers. So, mix you here. The root, you have to figure out what you're going to ground yourself to. I'm always fond of doing real exercises to ground yourself to the earth and really feel nurtured by the earth and do that earth magic. That might work, and if you've been doing it, you need to do a metric F-ton more of it. And I think you've had some tendencies to ground yourself into things that haven't helped you and haven't served you. And I feel like you can't really fully ground yourself into your family. So that's root. Sacral. I think you have done a really good job sort of healing the sacral and with your mother and just healing, like, deep feminine ancestral wounding. We all have a bunch of that. But I think you've done a really good job on that. I feel great about that. I would say trust that a little more and feel more ready to get into a romantic relationship. Really. You're more ready than you think. And then with that solar plexus, the King of Coins, I would say until you feel grounded, like what are you missing here? You're missing fire. You're missing your fire. You're missing your passion. Until you feel grounded enough to trust yourself to pursue your passions, you're not going to be able to know what your will is or enact your will. You're going to be able to get by in life and be okay, but not do it joyfully and abundantly. And you want to do it. Of all people, you want it. You want to do it joyfully and abundantly. So you have very little fire in your chart. So I think you really have to nurture fire. Whether that is, going to places where there is a bonfire and hanging out with the bonfire, or a candle, don't burn your house down, and do fire things, and hang out with lizards, or, whatever, metaphorically or spiritually or whatever. Do the fire things. But I think really figuring out what you're going to ground yourself into is going to fix everything else. Because look, Ace of Coins, King of Coins. That's not bad. Objectively, that's not bad. It's just so bedrudged. Is that a word? It's drudgery. It feels too. It doesn't feel like enough fun. So, and with the devil reversed, we understand you need to have fun. You want to have fun, but you got to be careful how you have fun. So again, grounded in the right way. That's what you need. That's the whole of it as I see it. Seriously. All right, and Gemini Sun, appreciating that reading. Excellent. And you're up next. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. Thanks for using members only emojis and for being a moderator. Pathological people pleaser. Guidance and help from the cards. You got it. Yes. Hey, K-Talks, good to see you. How are you and the wee one? And the husband and the whole family. We're talking about people pleasing today. Do you have a particular question? Let me know. Okay. Gemini Sun. Pathological people pleaser. I'm going to say a bunch of different things, some of which may be true, some of which may not be true. I see that you're here right now, so please talk to me, and let's figure this out together. When you were growing up in the household you were growing up in, were there ways that you felt treated unfairly, or like at school or something like that? Like, what's up with you and feeling treated unfairly? Is that a thing now? Is that an ongoing thing? What's up with that? There may also be something about wanting to make things fair for everyone, like just recognizing, so at home with your stepdad. Okay, got it. Fair. I mean, not fair, but yes. Understood. Thanks for letting me know. Extreme childhood trauma there. Yeah. So, we could even see justice reversed as extreme to the point that it could have been illegal. Whether or not it was brought to the attention of authorities, it was enough that authorities would have been interested. So that is the source of all of this. And so we feel like people pleasing may be trying to avoid, and I hadn't even thought about this. I didn't write about this and probably am not qualified to speak on it. But it's possible that when we talk about egregious trauma, like we all have childhood trauma, but egregious trauma is something different. That's a term I got from Nancy Hendrickson. And it's a good distinction in my mind. And it sounds like and looks like maybe you experienced egregious trauma. And, what egregious trauma can do for us, certainly it hurts our self-worth, our self-esteem, which leads to people-pleasing, of course. But there may be a more direct route there, too, that could account for why this is such a strongly ingrained behavior in you, Gemini Sun. And that is the trying to be really good and really helpful and all of that to avoid whatever kind of BS was being visited on you, that maybe you can nice and sweet your way out of it. Maybe there's some of that too. So I feel like it is a direct result of this. And I think the key is to recognize that very clearly, and you're not alone in this, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's good, really. I mean, it's bad that here we are, but it's good that it's getting dealt with. That as you are raising your kids, you are also healing your own inner child. And so there's a lot here about really seeing how your trauma shows up for you as you experience your own kid's childhood, and how you can lean into play with them and allow your own inner child to play in a safe environment. I think there's a lot there, and again, this is above my pay grade in a lot of ways. There are probably, certain kinds of therapy that could be really helpful as well. Maybe you've already done that. But I would say you will know that you have recovered from a lot of this trauma when you are no longer so compelled to people please and are more comfortable with just putting it out there organically. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Go the heck away. And I mean, I didn't get there until I was almost 60. So, I mean, it can take time, right, for all of us. But the sooner you get there, the better, for sure, for sure. All right. Melissa, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. Thanks for using members-only emojis. Thanks for your kind words about the newsletter. Can't make the live today? Understood. But this one hits home. I've done some Reiki work on healing the lower 3 chakras. We did a very specific session on sacral and solar plexus. I love this for you. I am delighted to hear this. What additional work can I do to heal these 3? People-pleasing is part of my upbringing and has defined most of my life. And I'm going to say, and I didn't say this in the newsletter, but there is a specific kind of people-pleasing for women, specific to women. And it's part of the cultural misogyny that is passed from mother to daughter. So there's that. I think you have some of that. I do, for sure. For sure. And Gemini Sun, you are very welcome. All right. Lumen, Rosemary, Medium That Rocks, so good to see all of you. All right, we are doing you, Melissa. I think I'm going to do that 3-card chakra reading, just like I did for Mixuir. And let's see what we got here. So, starting for you, Melissa, with the... Y'all saw me shuffle. You heard me shuffle. Do you remember? Okay, Mixuir in Michelle. Mixuir, Michelle in Toronto. Melissa in Connecticut. Y'all got the same card in the same position and the same spread. The devil reversed. And it begs the question. I'm going to say exactly the same thing to you, Melissa, that I said to Michelle. Because it's so freaking powerful. I feel like it was powerful the first time we saw it. Seeing it again only makes it feel more powerful for all of us. And it just asks that question, what are you grounded into? Like you are grounded. I know you are grounded in your work. I know you're grounded in taking care of yourself. But on a deeper, more spiritual level, what are you grounded into? And it cannot be your family. And so figuring that out is really going to be a key. And feeling worthy of all the good things in life. You know, knowing that you are worthy. This is exactly what Michelle got. I did a reading in between. I shuffled, but here we go. So sacral, I feel like you've done a lot there. And I think for you very specifically, because I know the story, Melissa, the care of your grandmother really helped you sort of connect to family, and the connection to ancestors that you've done going to Italy has been very, very, very healing for you, as well as the Reiki work and other things that you've done. The solar plexus, magician reversed. You have got to get to a point where you're allowed to want things. You have to be allowed to want things. You have to. You have to be allowed to want things. And once you're allowed to want things, and once you know what you're grounded into, it'll be all good. There you go. Caroline McLaughlin. Good to see you. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. Thanks for using members-only emojis. Thanks for your kind words about the newsletter. I feel that I'm not so much a people pleaser. Good. But I do focus on things being fair for all. Also at work, I will and do a lot of extra things for our aged residents, which does please them, but I think is definitely different than people pleasing. I do too. I think that's an extra helping of compassion. And I think you wouldn't be in that field if you didn't have that, although we know people who don't have that who are in that field, so I can't say that about everybody, but I can say it about you. So no, I don't think that's people pleasing. I think it's you trying to make things more fair, and it's because you care. So what do I see about it in the cards? That was just the Christiana opinion. What do we see in the cards? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, are there times when you go out of your way for others when you technically don't have to? Yes. Does it sometimes cost you? Yes. Are you sometimes tired because of it? Yes. I think if you're at a place where you just can't, you don't have to force yourself and you don't have to feel guilty. When you can, it's good. When you can't, you've got to be able to give yourself a break. I agree it's not people pleasing, and I agree it is you just trying to want to make things fair for everyone, but sometimes you do it very much at your own expense. Sometimes that's okay, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just don't have it. Madiha Ness, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. Thanks for your kind words about the newsletter. I was culturally trained for people pleasing. I had a New Year's resolution a few years back to say no when I needed it for my own well-being. I still have to remind myself. Yeah, got it. I've been so tired and not feeling physically good. I'm so sorry that I'm avoiding getting together with people. I feel uncomfortable saying no, partly because I want to hang out, partly because I'm still worried about the people pleasing. In a way, I'm telling myself that if I disappoint these people because I'm not able to go do things with them, so be it. But then I also feel like I don't really matter to them anyway. How can I get out of this loop of negative thinking? And sneaking in a health question, why am I so exhausted and have aches and pain? Thanks for using members only emoji. I'm so sorry. Okay, obviously not a doctor. I'm going to work backwards on this. Obviously not a doctor. Obviously you want to pursue a doctor, but let's see what the cards say. I mean, it can't hurt to do a reading on it. I don't think it's anything really serious. I do think you should see a doctor. Hang on a minute. I don't think it's anything serious, but like I'd love to know if there's a nutritional issue going on. I'd love to know if it's about nutrients or something like that. So see a doctor. Now, when people ask to hang out, you'd really like to and you just can't, And so you say no. You feel conflicted about that. But, I mean, I'm assuming that the way that you communicate is authentic, that you're not like, yeah, I don't want to hang out with you assholes, go away. You know, I'm assuming that's not what you're doing, right? I'm assuming you're really regretful, and the intention is when you do feel better, we will hang out. And I think you communicate that intention. And so if someone's going to be upset about that, then they're not your friend. I think the people who are your friends are disappointed. They want to see you. But I think they're sad too that you're not feeling well. I think they recognize it. And I think the real conflict here for you is that low self-esteem, where you feel like if you're not keeping yourself in front of them, they're just going to forget about you anyway, and they don't really care if you're there or not. But on the other hand, you don't want to disappoint them. So it's like this whole weird thing. And yeah, this is something that you must heal from. Oh gosh, doctor gave you some medication, but no cause or cure. Yeah, I would keep working on that. When do we think you're going to be feeling better? Soon, but I'm going to say this, Medea Ness. As above, so below. I mean, I am sure there is something going on here physically somehow that is causing this. But I think there's a spiritual thing too. What if the spiritual reason for this happening is so you are forced to have those boundaries and to feel comfortable with it, to say, oh gosh, I'd really love to, but I really can't. Please ask me again. What if that is the lesson, and the sooner you learn that, to do it without creating any kind of agita, what if that's part of the healing process for you? What if that's part of the remedy? Just saying. Oh, Caroline, thank you for your kind words. You are so sweet. Thank you. Betty Flesher, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 3 years. Thanks for using members-only emojis. Is my people-pleasing because of childhood issues or past life issues? Oh, past life tarot class. Hang on. Do I have paper? I have a pen. I don't have paper. Someone email me or text me or something and remind me to do a past life tarot class. I have to get September events up. Did you all see we got the members-only event up for August at the end of the month, so y'all make note of that. But I got to get September classes up, so I'd love to do that. Yes. Someone please message me. You are very welcome, Ness. Okay, so, Betty, people-pleasing, childhood issues, definitely. People-pleasing, past life issues. Look at that, 2 9s, one upright. Yeah, both. I'm going to say both. And maybe similar, because I think patterns can repeat lifetime to lifetime. And it is about, what is the trauma about? There's another 9, man. It could just be things that were happening. Things that were happening in your life that you couldn't control, that were worrisome. It could just be that. But something, yeah. All right. Gianna, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. I think balance is important because I know someone who doesn't care at all about people pleasing, and it makes her cold, mean, and rude. Well, so I'm going to say that's not about people pleasing. Like, people pleasing is like a term used in psychology. There's a difference. Like, what that says is she doesn't care about empathy, compassion, or any kind of social contract. That's what that is. And yeah, it would drive me crazy that someone goes around the world that way. Absolutely. And so let's look at what's real about that person. And okay, third-party reading. For some people, this will violate your ethical standards. I am so sorry. I'm doing it anyway because I think it's going to be helpful. All right. So we're going to start with, what is true about this person? Why is she doing this? Man, this card is stalking us today. I think she's doing this because she's been treated very unfairly, and this is what makes her feel secure. Does she recognize that she's treating people badly? I don't know that she really recognizes in a full way. I think there may be some significant mental health issues here. I'm not a doctor, I can't make a diagnosis, but there could be something significant going on here. And so the way to handle this person is to recognize that they are really hurt, and they may not even recognize that they are hurt. And hurt people hurt people. And you don't want to contribute to their hurt, nor do you want to let them hurt you. And I think the question is, in what context are you forced to deal with this person? Because I'm assuming if you were not forced to deal with this person, you would not deal with this person, because who would want to? And so, in dealing with this person, I think this is a sign for you to certainly have compassion that this person does not show others, but to have really, really, really super good boundaries. Really super good boundaries. You are forced to, that's what I thought, yeah. This is a problematic person. I completely agree with you. And I'm sorry for what has happened that made them that way, but I'm also sorry for anyone who has to deal with them. And they don't seem very self-aware. They don't seem very able to grow and to heal. So I'm going to say, just recognize that it is not their intention to make people miserable, that it is simply their intention to protect themselves against threats, both real and perceived. And so you have to deal with this person when you have to deal with this person. This person has to live with themselves all the time, and it can't be pleasant. And you can't really try to make it better or try to make it right, and you can't go out of your way for this person. Let me know what you think. All right. Pamela Lath. So good to see you. See, I'm finally getting to you here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. Thanks for using members only emojis. Thank you for the frosty drink. Really, really appreciate that. So Pamela, I'm really digging deep this week. I'm wondering if there's if like that is sort of the question, or if the question, I think that's the question. Okay, got it. Okay, really digging deep this week, turning big 50 tomorrow, celebration, the first year with both parents gone. It's hard, the first people it was my job to please. So what do you need to know about that, Pam? Rest. We can deal with what it is to being a people pleaser later on. Right now, this is about rest. They are resting, you get to rest. Let this be a restful time. Have fun, do what you want to do, spend it with people that you enjoy. But this is about rest. And, undoing behaviors takes a long time. Grief takes a long time. You ain't got to do any of that for your birthday. Very good. Hey, Rhonda Bradley, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm new here. Everyone, it's Rhoda. Everyone, welcome, Rhoda. Sorry I mispronounced your name. Thank you so much for starting off our relationship with a super chat. Really, really appreciate that. We do a lot of live stream readings here. I'm glad you're here. I take them in the order in which I see them. And so I'll be getting to you very shortly. And we really appreciate you. Everyone say hi to Rhoda. All right. Joyce Ocean, I have not done you yet. No, no, no. Happy to see you. Ness, thanks again. Just watch my reading one more time. Thank you. I do have the 5-year-old response to my pain, like the universe has nothing else to do but make it more difficult for me, right? Right. I get it. That's not what I believe, but I can feel it. I will actively work on how I think about it. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's, yeah. We have to override that. I mean, I think we all have that. We just have to override. All right, here we go. Who is up next? It is Nalini Kalu. Good to see you. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. I've been a people pleaser for most of my life, but feel like I'm getting a lot better about my boundaries. What can the universe tell me about how I'm doing and ways to better handle people who don't understand my boundaries? Rhoda, you are getting love in the chat. That is the kind of group we are. We're doing a tarot class here tonight, 7 p.m. Hope you can join us for that as well. All right. So Nalini, how you're doing with those boundaries, so much better, so much better, so much better. It's always a work in progress, right? But so much better. And with the people who push the boundaries, that's where it's really hard. Because I think you have to learn how to, here's the thing, you have to learn how to reinforce the boundaries kindly. What can you say to reinforce boundaries kindly? Your homework is to Google on that. What can I say to reinforce my boundaries kindly when people push them? See what comes up and learn that. That will help. All right. Where are we? Vaishali, good to see you. Am I a people-pleasing person? What is good for me? How should I please people around me, or should I let go of it and don't do that? Okay. Vaishali, I think you have a lot of anxiety about people around you. And in that anxiety, like you sometimes don't know what to do. And so there can be that sort of, not knowing how to be comfortable. I think the more you learn how to be comfortable with you, the more you're comfortable with others, the less you have to worry about it. Tiffany, good to see you. Nalini, you are very welcome. I don't think I'm a people pleaser, and I don't have much problem about self-worth. However, I do attract people who don't value me. Want to know if my guides have a message for me on that? Yeah, well, now you figured it out. Good for you. Now you figured it out, you have to act on it. And it probably does go back to something in childhood where you did not feel valued, where you are trying to prove your value. You attract them and keep them around because you're trying to prove your value. So there is something there where if you really felt your value fully, you wouldn't be doing that. So that's the next thing you got to work on. Vaishali, you're very welcome. Lumen, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. I was talking about my people-pleasing tendencies just yesterday with my partner. Very good. Rosemarie, good to see you. Kay Talks, you're up next. I take on too much because I want to do well, and I just overscrolled. There it is. Hang on a minute. Where are you? There you are. I take on too much because I want to do well and allow others to dictate the value of my work because I want to please them. Ooh. I deal with a lot of imposter syndrome, so I people please as a constant need to feel I'm proving my worth in work, especially since I'm freelance. I feel this need to allow others to value my work and to dictate how I view my own work and question if it's up to par. Yeah, I totally understand all of that. And to some extent, I mean, it's always whatever the market will bear, right? Like, you raise your prices. If they won't pay them, then I guess they, either you're not marketing well enough or they don't value it. But you want to stay in business. So on one hand, there's a business thing, but then there's the emotional piece and the strategic piece that goes around that. And, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're self-employed, it is business, but it feels personal too. And it really does connect in with us personally in a lot of ways. So it's a balancing act. What I can say about this, Kay, is it's a balancing act that you are getting better and better at. But I think you've struck on something really important, which is that, okay, wanting to overplease your clients is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. But having how your clients deal with you, or how you think your clients might deal with you, be some judge of your inherent value, that's what we got to work on. That's what we got to work on. Your value needs to be clear to yourself no matter what. And when that happens, I think the client interactions will change a little bit for the positive as well. Okay. Medium that rocks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for almost a year now. Kay, you are very welcome. Tiffany, yes, I do that to try to prove my value. Yeah, there you go. There it is. Okay, medium that rocks. Thanks for being a member. I'm hoping I'm learning to move away from being a people pleaser. How am I doing? How should I best approach new relationships? Oh man, you are slamming the freaking door. And you're going to approach new relationships very freaking carefully and practically. Basically putting yourself and your needs first, and if that's not understood, then you're not going to deal with that. It's the oxygen thing on the airplane. You're going to give yourself oxygen first, and there it is. And it's not selfish, it's appropriate. Because you care for others, because you do for others, you have to be able to do this. Rosemarie, good to see you. So, Rosemarie, yeah, you are a people pleaser. Let's talk about that. Yeah, and it's your way of defending yourself. You try to be nice to people so they won't be mean to you, rather than just like getting the heck away from them. It's because you don't trust your ability to do what you need to do, I think. Lumen, so good to see you. Thanks for being a member. My question is, what steps can I take to abandon my instincts to people please in terms of social interactions? Like keeping my fringe keeping my fringe opinions to myself for the sake of making people feel comfortable. I often say things or bring up topics which in my mind are alternative forms of thinking or seek to address the possible internal traumas that people hold and often get hushed, so I accommodate and just keep it to myself. So that's an audience question, right? Like different things for different audiences. Rosemarie, you are very welcome. I feel like that's not so much about people pleasing as it is about reading the room. That in conversation, not everyone can handle you. You are much deeper than a lot of the people around you. And what that means is you need to seek some deeper people in some way. And you also know you've got people around you who cannot handle the truth. Is it people pleasing to just not then hold them accountable? I think it depends on where you're at. If you need some kind of accountability, I would try to have those conversations, but maybe with a therapist or something like that. If you're trying to get them to if you're trying to get them to stretch and grow, I would argue that's not your job. Or do that as an artist, do that in other ways. Something like that. Does that make sense? All right. Rhoda Bradley, you are up next. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for starting our relationship with generosity. Really, really appreciate it. Lumen, that makes sense. Good, good. Okay, so you're asking for a message, Rhoda, and today we're talking about people pleasing. So when we look at your relationship with people pleasing, I think you can sometimes be insecure. I mean, who can't be, you know? But I do think you have some insecurity. That could be financial insecurity, insecurity in yourself, insecurity that you're going to get what you want or that people are going to fulfill your needs. It may be hard for you to ask for what you need. So the message today is about getting more clarity about what your needs are and being willing to ask for it of other people, of the universe, and of yourself, and working on feeling more secure in yourself and in your abilities. Let's see who is up next. Della, I see you. Thanks for being here. Joyous Ocean, I haven't seen you, but I've seen you ask if you've missed your reading, so I feel like I've skipped you. I'm going back to you, Joyous Ocean. I'm finding you. Where are you? Joyous Ocean. Here's the deal, Joyous Ocean. I see you interacting. I don't see your question. Can you get your question in again or whatever? Because I am not seeing it. Oh, no, I am seeing it. Sorry, that was me. Sorry. Because you tagged Mixuir, I thought you were talking to Mixuir, so I scoped over it. Okay, sorry. Joyous Ocean, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members-only emojis. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. I see myself as a recovered people pleaser. What do the cards say? What do I need to know to heal and strengthen the relevant 3 chakras? I love this. I love this. I love this. Okay. It's a great spread, isn't it? Like, right? It's a great 3-card spread. At the root, like you are very emotional in your connection to life, abundance, groundedness. Like you ground into the things that you connect with emotionally. I'm not saying that's either a good or a bad thing, but it's an interesting thing. You are still actively working on healing sacral chakra stuff. That's family stuff. There is a lot of family stuff you are still working on healing. And Joyous Ocean, you are better at helping other people find their vision forward than you are finding your vision forward. And this is where grounding that root in this compassion, watery stuff may be problematic. What are flowers that grow in water? Lotuses grow in water, right? You may need to do some work with lotus. Magic with lotus, something like that might be helpful here. Seriously. Anyway, sorry I skipped you, but glad I found you. Rosemarie, thank you so much for that. Rhoda, you are very welcome. Let's see. Who else have I missed? It's getting to be last call for readings, y'all. Let me go through and see. Baby cakes. Oh, and Teresa, here you are. Have we done you yet? Teresa, have you asked a question yet? Baby cakes. I've been working for years to stop people pleasing. I think I'm doing better for the most part. I think it's important to put yourself first to stop it. Is there more I can do? I think sometimes you do feel ungrounded. You can work on grounding exercises and root chakra exercises. Could be helpful. Wear red underwear. Do meditation where you go from the root chakra into the earth, grounding into the earth. Spend time in nature. Go hiking. Those things would help. Joyous Ocean. I love that so much. I have to listen again. Oh, Joyce Ocean, you've been a member for 17 months. This channel has helped me grow a lot in the 17 months. Well, thank you so much. You've been such an important part of this community for these 17 months. Thank you, thank you. Della, asking for a card. I'm just going to do a reading for you on people pleasing, which I think there are ways that you have been trained to do that, but you're learning not to do it. And you're learning to have the right boundaries, and you're learning to have more confidence in yourself and who you are, which is fabulous. Good for you. All right. All right. From my perspective, I've gotten to everyone. If I accidentally skipped you, I am so sorry. Please do reiterate, it's last call for readings, y'all. I will be back. There is a link. We're doing the Queens of Tarot tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about the queens and the other feminine influences in tarot and how femininity is expressed in tarot and what we can learn from that. So please join us. And thank you to members, moderators, and thank you to people helping out with super chats. Really, 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 really appreciate it. Oh, baby cakes, definitely. I'm off and ungrounded. I will do the exercise. Excellent. Perfect, perfect. My friends, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. In the description, subscribe to the newsletter. Read the newsletter. Book a reading with me. Get your StaarCon ticket. Do all of those things. The early bird special ends at the end of this month for your StaarCon ticket. And become a member of this channel. All right. Thank you all so much. I hope to see you tonight. Take really good care.